This review is presented by EVDANCE and The Perfect Gloss. On this review of the FL5, the latest, the 6th generation of the Honda Civic Type R. But I need to try this one out. And you know what? I've been living with this car now for a little more than 3 weeks. And there is just one thing to do with this car each and every day. And that is to drive it, and drive it. Throughout its generations, it has always been a driver's car. 1997, the first one popped up, and it was just a success. Well, they've just made them better and better. In the hot hatch league, well, it has always been there, maybe at the top. And it's no wonder it has records. They set a record at the Nürburgring, but mostly it's the Suzuka record that they talk about. And that's where this one is the fastest front-wheel driven car in the world. It's made to be driven hard. Sure, you can drive it, rather comfortably, in comfort. You can use it as a day-to-day car. In comfort mode, it works. But it is hard, but it's not as hard as many others. I had the Honda i30N. It was unbelievably hard, even when you set it in comfort mode. But this one, it's a lot better. And when you really need to force it, it's delivering on every point. This is such a jewel. We need to have a closer look at this hardcore piece of car, because a hardcore car it is, and it's rather interesting driving around in it, parking, letting people come up, talking about it, because the attitude towards these cars are rather special when it comes to the looks, because that's the first that strikes people that might not know what type of category this is. And everyone says about the same thing. Isn't this a Fast and the Furious compatible car, right? And yep, of course, it looks like one. You got the wing for that better downforce together with the diffuser at the back, those 3 tailpipes which are designed to look a bit more hardcore and a bit different instead of just setting 2 pipes at the side or just one big. I think it looks really, really cool. At the back, it is really smooth. The line of that LED ramp that goes all around, it is delicate. And at the front, they have also reshaped it a bit so it doesn't look that outlandish and crazy like the FK8 did. This FL5 has a much smoother line to it. And in this rally red color, I just think it looks splendid. Together with a matte black 19-inch rims, and those 19-inch rims, they are smaller than the previous one, the FK8. That one had 20-inch, so you have less mass that is moving around. But at the same time, you got wider tires, 265 on these ones, so better grip. And grip, well, you need grip in a car like this. When you start driving cars that are front-wheel driven, that has 250 or 300 horsepower plus, in this case, 329. So just a moderate 9 horsepower up. But 420 Newton meters, well, that does a lot because the front wheels, they need to struggle. They need to struggle big time. The steering is updated. It is a lot quicker, a lot sharper. You got stiffer anti-roll bars, you got limited slip differential, and all of this is supposed to give more grip. And I just love that they focus so much on getting the grip down in a front-wheel driven car. You just think that sometimes it is ineffective, but not in a machine like this. This has got so much grip that it's incredible. It doesn't feel like it spins off. And you get into the racing type of style, which just makes you feel, I know exactly where to put it and how much throttle input I need to give it. it is so responsive. And the 2-liter turbo in this one, well, it isn't that changed. They mapped it a little, so it is a bit more sharp, a bit more responsive, and the torque comes in a little earlier, and that is thanks to that the blades on the turbo are a bit less, so it's a bit more responsive. Bigger intake, bigger intercooler, and you also got these vents here that lets out the hot air. Red brake calipers as well, Brembo brakes, really, really strong. And the side skirts are also aerodynamically reshaped. Spoiler at the back together with the diffuser makes it a bit more stable at higher speeds. Well, that is just good. But the fun thing is, when you do some trail braking and when you start throwing it around hard, you can get the back end to step out a bit, and that is just so cool. So what do you get here? Well, you got the 2-liter turbocharged VTEC engine, same as before, but they've done a lot to tweak this one up. Not in horsepower, you only got 10 horsepower more, 420 Newton meters, so 20 Newton meters more than before. You got rev match and this gearbox. It just makes you feel so alive. Now when it's a little cold during the nights, it's a bit cold, and during the summer, well, then it is a bit hot, and you need a glove to get the best grip of it, because it can be a bit, you know, slippery. But the feeling, those short shifts, and these direct feeling when putting it into next gear, well, it's just another world. So top speed is 275 kilometers an hour. That's really, really fast for a front-wheel driven car. And the 0 to 100 is done in 5.4 seconds. Well, depends on how much grip you got, of course, and what the temperature in the road is. But you can manage. There's no launch control, so you need to calibrate that a bit yourself. Chassis is renewed, of course, a lot stiffer. The placement of the pedals, which are in aluminium, is just perfect for doing heel and toe if you want. But it's just so convenient having a good rev match system. And when on the top, well, you get a little bong and a ring when it's time to change gear. And you got different drive modes. You got comfort, you got sport, you got individual, and individual is really nice. You can set the dampers, which are adaptive in comfort, and then you can have the engine in its most aggressive mode. But when I drive active, I just want to have it in its hardest setting, no matter what type of road it is. And then you got the R+ button. Then everything becomes super stiff. The chassis becomes super stiff, the steering becomes heavy, and it has this Porsche type of direct feel to it, and also this Alcantara steering wheel. It's just like they've taken it out of a GT3 or something. It is just splendid, looks good, feels good, and just gives you such good feedback. Not very common these days. Light cars. This one weighs in at 1,504 kilos, and you can truly feel that in the bends. It's so manageable, and when you get in fast to a bend and you keep on the brake a little, doing a little trail braking, you can feel that it steps out a little, so it's a little tail happy in some parts. Gets good grip in the front end, and then it just wiggles out a little, but with full control as you correct it. It's so much joy that you wouldn't believe. And the even better thing about it is that it is super stiff, but when you drive it in comfort, living with it day to day. I've been driving this car for over 3 weeks now, living with it, and it's just a breeze. The gearbox is just so easy to maneuver. Well, a little tough when you put it in reverse, but apart from that, sure, when going over bumps, that's something that you really don't want to do. But apart from that, it is very, very easy to live with this one. It's practical, it's got good space. You got good space in the back. You got 410 liters in the trunk. But that's what's so cool about it. Live with it, practical, but at the same time, just flick that little button with the drive modes or put it into R mode, and you got a complete beast of a race car, because it feels like a pure race car in some way. These are somewhat of a dying breed, this front-wheel driven hardcore cars. So we're just thankful that Honda gives us the very supreme of them all, because this one, it beats the heck out of the other ones. So 629,900 Swedish crowns, that is a lot of money. About 58,000 euros, depending on where you live. But at the same time, if you are a driving maniac and if you really like front-wheel driven cars, that challenge of putting down the power, not getting too much understeer, and knowing exactly how to manage the grip, and knowing that you can chase a lot faster cars on very twisty roads with a car that isn't too heavy, because it isn't heavy. 1,504 kilos, that's what it weighs, and that is not much in today's sport cars, because the bonnet is a little lighter and so is the trunk door. So that price might just motivate it, because you don't see that many of them. And I think that somewhere along the road, this might be a little of a collector's car, because it is that special at this given time. You can hear when you open the doors that they are light, but something else that I just love that is super convenient is that the keyless go system is so good. You just touch the handle, it unlocks, and then you step in and you open it so easy. So from day to day, that is something that I truly, truly love about this car. Stepping into it and just off you go. In here you're greeted with a very driver-focused environment. And the first thing that grabs your attention are these red bucket seats. Racy, racy, racy. And you might think that, I'm in for not such a pleasant ride riding along in these ones. But these seats, I can just tell you straight off that these are the most comfortable sport seats that I've ever sat in. Fake Alcantara type of style. It's not Racetex, it's not Alcantara, but it just feels like Alcantara. But it is so smooth to the touch that it is incredible, and they look, I mean, they are just gorgeous. So you don't need to be worried that they won't treat you on longer rides, because they will. They are comfortable and they are supportive. And when you start to drive this one hard, they just keep you in place. So the seats work through in such a good way. They are splendid. It says Type R up here. You got red seat belts. The floor mats, they are red as well. Then you get to the back, you got red floor mats there, and then you got black back seats. Is it plastic? It doesn't feel that plastic. It's more hard materials. Sure, a little plastic here. This feels a little cheap down here. You got some cup holders, a little storage there, USB outlets. Got your induction charger here. This grill, well, it's plastic. It looks really, really good, but it is a little plastic, but still like these sticks that you use to disperse the air. Big knobs focused to change the temperature, to change the fan, and physical buttons to change air conditioning and how you want to heat the windows and mode for the ventilation, all of that. Start button down here, which flashes a little in red. It really wants you to start it up. And you got a little badge here which says Type R Civic R 18,019. So I think that's the production number of this car. Great vision all around. You sit low, you sit tight, and the steering wheel, it is just delicate. It feels like a Porsche 911 steering wheel. That's just what it is. You got it in Alcantara, some red stitching, good buttons in the steering wheel. The horn is rather fun. Sounds very light, very, you know, like a very tiny car in some way. Yeah. And of course, as always in a Civic Type R, you got the gear knob in aluminium. It's small, it's tight, it's just so easy to put into the next gear. You can drive it hard, it's quick. The only struggle is when you put it into reverse sometimes, but nothing to really complain about. It is just a delicate piece of gearbox. Love it. A good system. The screen here doesn't grab your attention that much. It just works. It's quick enough. It looks good enough. Good graphics. You can get into the Honda Log R, which just monitors all your driving, how much G-force you pull, what type of turn, what type of brake, what type of acceleration, temperatures, and everything. So that's fun, and I think it fits in a car like this, because this is a car that you take to the track, so you might want some stats on that. To turn off the speed warning, you need to be in stationary, and also to turn all the traction control off, you need to be stationary. This is a good system. I like it. It isn't that complicated. Everything just works quickly and nice. It is a bit tilted flat just back. It should be tilted a bit more towards the driver, but that doesn't matter. And then you got a little cluster here with the most essential things that you need. You can reassemble it a little here if you wanna, you know, have it in a bit more racy way, if you just want a normal. You got this little knob here to set the different drive modes. You got comfort, you got sport, and you got individual. And this has adaptive chassis, so it sets itself in the right way, stiffer or softer, depending on what type of drive mode you're in. And then you push the R button, and then everything becomes red, becomes really racy. And this cluster here, well, it changes. So the revs, they go up, and then you get these lighting indicators. Very racy that as well, as you need to change gear. That is good. Cruise control, lane assist, change the volume, and you can also see your board computer in here. So, you know, everything is just there. I like the back seat. Very soft seats back here. They're rather flat, so not that inviting. You don't got any armrest back here. You got two cup holders. But the space to the front seats are just great. You can behold these seats. It says Type R, even though that is a little plastic. You got red seat belts back here, and you only got two seat belts back here. So a little more dark back here, but still you sit well. And you got some ISOFIX, your window button, and that's about it. The only thing that you need to do is to hang on if there's an enthusiastic driver behind the steering wheel. Brakes are, of course, phenomenal. You got the Brembo brakes. Very good feel to them. And in a light car with good brakes, well, then everything just becomes wonderful. But when feeding it, you know, from corner to corner, doing a little trail braking here and there, you can feel that there's a tendency of losing a little grip. Not much. They don't become mushy in any way, but you need to force a bit more power into them after a while. So I think that you just need to cool them off, doing your cool-offs whenever you can. Otherwise, they're just strong and good. So let's do a launch, 0 to 100 in 5.4 seconds. Really need to find that grip, and that is also a little of a competition doing that. It's fun. Standing starts in a front-wheel driven car. That is some sort of art to get that grip down. And, well, you need good tires. You have good tires on this one. If you are a needy, driver-focused individual, then this car will just serve you plenty enough. It is so fun. It is so focused. It is so pointy. And it just makes you want to drive quicker and quicker and just become better and better. And you want something to chase. I mean, on some country roads, some tight country roads, you can chase a 911 in this one with this grip. There are some rivals, and some of them are four-wheel driven, like the Golf R. It's very effective, very quick, driven and on track, but it's a bit more comfortable. It's effective in a way that doesn't make your blood pump that hard in your body like this one does. You need to fight a little more with this one, but still, you don't need to fight it that much to get the grip for being a front-wheel driven car, and that is amazing. More of a competitor to that is the GTI Club Sport in that case. That was a bit more fun. So there is something with a front-wheel driven car, because you can't overdo it a bit too much. You need to be on that very, very limit, and that is fun. But with this one, that limit shrinks a lot because it's got so much grip. It's so effective that you don't really reach that level of overdoing it like you might do in a front-wheel driven car. You just got so much grip and it just goes in the direction that you want at any given time. You also got the GR Yaris. This one has just a completely different grip and agility. The sound isn't that much to talk about. You know, it's when you're at the higher revs, when you hit 7,000, maybe you like that little zing on the top. Otherwise, it's rather muted. You know, a dampened, racy feel. That's how it sounds. But you need to work the gears a little to keep it on top, but at the same time it is that strong that you can sometimes short shift it, cool it down, and then just swipe through the corners quickly. But my gosh, do you get that gears thrown in quick. It is just so energetic, and you can place it wherever, and you don't need to do any retakes in any situation. Wherever you point the steering wheel, the car will get you there. This is a wow car for being a front-wheel driven one. The consumption is a lot better than it's claimed. It's claimed 8.3 liters per 100 kilometers, but I've been driving fairly calm and I've averaged about 7.4, 7.5. And when I was driving on the motorway, not that quick, it did 7 liters per 100 kilometers. So you can get the consumption down impressively low on this car. Love that. This really blows me away for being a front-wheel driven car. I'm more of a rear-wheel drive type of driver. I love that a bit more. Need to work with it, need to put the power down when it's extremely powerful at the rear. But this, it's charming in another way. And there is something about that. You feel safe, you know where to lift off, and driving it quick to chase a four-wheel driven car or a rear-wheel driven car, that just becomes so much joy. And this one, well, this is the very, very best weapon that you can get when you want to go for a front-wheel driven fast car. I would go for this one if you're looking for something in that category, because this one is simply the very best.